Hello and welcome to BQ Prime. You're joining us in this special conversation on Infibeam's Avenue. Of course, they've come out with this fresh announcement on the exchanges where they're saying that they received a lifetime license for the Bharat Bill Pay system from the Reserve Bank of India. We're joined with Mr. Vishwas Patel, the Executive Director at Infibeam's Avenue. Mr. Patel, welcome. Thank you so much for taking time out to join us on this conversation. Firstly, just wanted to get a quick understanding of what this means for the company, what this license means for the company.
Right. I think this is a license renewed in perpetuity for the Bharat Bill Payment Systems. So, if you are aware, 5 years back, we were one of the first non-bank operating units to get this license from RBI. What this entails is that it gives us the power to, at one side, put in more billers on the platform, and on the other side, as well as give that API out to all the agent institutions out in the country. If you're aware, bill payments is one of the core as part of the Digital India Mohim by the Prime Minister. And part of it is, how do we make all kinds of bill payments easy, frictionless, and in one API, you should be able to pay your DTH bill, your mobile bill, your school fees, your electricity bills, your BMC bills, aqua bills. Yeah. So that's the whole idea of the Bharat Bill Payment Systems.
Right, sir. So, in terms of, you've always been in the bill payment system. The perpetuity license exactly does what? Does the Reserve Bank of India not come back anymore for their checks and balances?
Of course, they will. Reserve Bank is there for the checks and balances, but it gives us a power here. What it means is that it gives us a sense of satisfaction and continuity, and even to our biller community, because if we have onboarded more than 90% of the billers on the Bharat Bill Payment Systems. Yeah. Almost 18,000 plus billers on the systems. So when they have a player as reputed as we're the first listed fintech and someone who has a license in perpetuity, it means that we have our processes, our compliances and everything in place for RBI to give us this kind of a license.
Got that. Coming to the financial impact of all of this, so obviously you will be able to process now probably more billers as you bring in further billers into the system and expand your services to a wider population of the country. What do you think it's going to add in terms of revenue for Infibeam?
So it's going to add on all fronts. So from the business perspective, on the biller side, so today we have 18,000 billers, but now we are looking at 1 million schools and colleges to be put onto the Bharat Bill Payment Systems. Okay. We are looking at almost 100,000 municipalities across the country where we can do their aqua, property tax, all the Satbara extracts and everything, and get those payments online. On the biller side, on the agent institution side, today we have almost 1 million agents in around 1,800 cities and towns across India. It helps us to expand the base. As far as the direct benefit that comes on across to our company is that today the gross margins have improved 40% from under 10% what it was 4 years ago. Okay. And I think overall today BBPS is still processing only 670 million bills in a year. We intended to grow it tenfold to around 6 to 7 billion bills a year.
Okay. With the Reserve Bank of India's announcement, latest announcement, which talks about expanding the ambit of the BBPS system, probably take on more sort of payment systems onto it. What more do you think will come on board now? You already have utility bills, you have, as you said, education bills as well. Rentals as well. So I'm just trying to understand what more can be added to the BBPS platform.
I think my personal view is that adding more verticals is not the solution. It's that existing categories which are there, which needs to be fully developed. As I said that for the last 5 years, the municipalities are there, but today we have hardly any municipalities, very limited municipalities on the system. We need to go down and build a cloud billing infrastructure for these hosted by us and then put on the Bharat Bill Payment Systems. So the categories are wide enough already. Like you say, schools and colleges. How many schools and colleges are there online today, BBPS? Absolutely. Only the 18,000 odd that we have put in 4 states around Maharashtra. There are around 1 million education institutions, just schools I'm talking about. So there's a lot of work to be done in the existing field. So instead of going all out firing, it's better if we focus and get this main core bill payments online. That is the core focus.
So you want to increase the depth of the service that is available
existing
to the number of
verticals.
billers. Got that. Coming to the question here about the broader, digital India move that you talked about as well by the government. Yes, bill payments is one. There's still the merchant payment system, which is of course still evolving. The RBI has talked about bringing credit card payments to RuPay cards. There's been a lot in terms of changes and new additions to the Indian payment system. Do we see a stage where you'll have more players such as yourself, more players coming in and taking on the more sort of revenue accretive businesses, because the focus continues somehow on UPI, as if UPI is the only payment system that exists in the country. But there's so much more that is happening. Do you think that more people will take on these other businesses as this ecosystem evolves?
So two different things. One is the players. Today there are 8 or 9 licensed players, if I understand, on the Bharat bill payment systems, non-bank talking about. Yeah. And on the payment aggregator, I don't know, maybe around a dozen and a half odd have got the payment aggregator license, right? As I said, Bharat bill payment has its own traction and its own way to go to solve, because it is a platform built in front of the payment systems, right? So that utility bills is continue to grow, because you can forget your girlfriend's birthday, but you cannot forget to pay your bills. Otherwise, the electricity will go off and other things, right? So utility payments is bound to grow, and there are like 2 crore bills generated every day. So the whole idea of getting more billers and more agents and make it more easier, that is a separate digital India, one of the verticals that we focus on. On the digital payment side, yes, the growth is going to go. Growth is going to grow. It's just not on UPI, because UPI is a debit mechanism, debiting a bank account. If you have a balance in bank account, so it's cannibalizing check, draft, NEFT, RTGS, all those, and it's everything going because it's a first mobile first use. That's why UPI is growing fast on this one. But credit is also growing. It's like 1 lakh crore plus per month credit card spends are increasing. Debit cards also is increasing. 1 lakh crore plus per month is on the debit card, the physical this debit card I'm talking about. Net banking is growing, and as well as even cash is growing. 32 or 31 lakh crores of cash in the market. So the whole idea and the whole differentiation of different kind of payment options in the merchants, and now you add CBDC coming in. CBDC, the central bank digital currency for retail payments. Now that will change paradigm a lot of different. That's the next big thing. According to me, more than a UPI on credit card, because credit card acceptance on UPI today, there are hardly RuPay credit cards in the market, 2 million, I believe, and how many are going to link to a UPI for the acceptance? So that will take time to take off, and unless the other card schemes also join on that QR, so that's a different ball game. But the CBDC for retail, the central bank digital currency, has a lot of use cases, and I think that will be the next new thing or big thing to help grow this digital India movement. That's my thought.
Since you brought up CBDC, let me also ask you this: does the system really need a digital form of the rupee? I mean, already existing systems, as you said, debit mechanisms exist. You can still pay directly from a bank account. Do we need a digital currency to sort of disintermediate that system?
So you have to understand the use cases, Vishwanath, and you have to understand the difference. A UPI, when you are doing, it's a 4-party system. It goes back to your bank, to the bank where the merchant's bank account is, it debits, and you have seen a lot of failures and a lot of this thing is it's there. But a CBDC is like a currency, like it's like it comes in the note form. You have a 5 rupee, 10 rupee, 15 rupee, just like a physical note. You have that in your wallet, and you can just swipe and just send it out. There are many use cases that will come, and it will primarily be attacking the 31 lakh crore of cash in circulation in the economy. So for that, I think it will make a lot of sense, because it's a very instantaneous system. It's all on blockchain, and the ease and the convenience with which RBI has planned moving a digital currency into your bank account to withdrawal, and moving normal rupee to e-rupee and e-rupee to normal rupee. is a very convenient and well thought of. And many use cases will come where a marketplace can, go to a central bank, RBI, and say, here, take 600 crores, give me 600 crore digital currency. And between the buyers and sellers and the customers, they can play around with that and make money. So it's something, a lot of use cases they've thought about and can be brought about. But we are very gung-ho on the CBDC retail portion.
So, as things stand right now, it's only between the RBI banks as well as their bank customers. I mean, the pilot I'm talking about, of course, the full-fledged launch may include more participants, but how soon do you think the non-banking system can sort of take part in this entire process?
So between you and me, we are in the final process on the CBDC retail launch. So we are just waiting for RBI to give the final go-ahead. But we are, we can say, ready or almost ready in process right now to make it live. So we are excited. We're just waiting from the green signal because RBI has a more macro view to look at the whole ecosystem to give it a phase-wise, launch-wise. But we at CC Avenue are ready.
All right, great, fantastic, sir. Thank you so much for joining us on this conversation and taking us through some of the nitty-gritties. And thank you so much for watching.
Thank you, Vishwas.